in your life, it's important to realize as early as possible that you're only as valuable as you are prepared for the situation that's at hand or the next one coming up. And that's why people dig money so much. They just love that shit because it gives you the ability to just be prepared for whatever you can think of. And as I get older, I sort of notice more and more how people try to express that preparedness over their own true self more often than not. And I'm talking about like everybody here. Like I remember when I was like 15 and I was working at McDonald's, I was surrounded by people every day who were just coping so hard every single day. And I was too. Shit, when I was like 18, I was working at a car wash, Little Caesars, and on the beach doing chairs just because I felt like I had to. And I hated myself for that, like the whole time. But even then, I had to put on like a mask, like a facade that would get me through the day. That type of shit. But there was this one single dude, throughout my entire time working who I didn't have to put that face up for, who kind of like didn't really do it to me first. And his name was Chadwick, but this dude got me to call him Chad. I think Chad was the first person to ever play mental chess with me in a way that I was never like uncomfortable with or offended by. And a bit of a pre-clause, I used to work on the beach as a beach attendant. And I'd be in charge of like setting up beach chairs and umbrellas for tourists and then taking care of people all day until I had to pack everything back up at the end of the day type of thing. And, just for reference, like I met Chad one day after I set up his custom embroidered beach chairs with the fucking, with his name etched into the back of these motherfuckers. Like this dude was a pimp like that. And this dude, he's 50 years old, mind you, and he wakes up in the morning, glides over to his chairs on the beach with his like 15 years younger wife, and he sits down and he's like puffing a fat ass cigar every day. And I'm just like, is this fucking James Bond type shit? Like this is a cool ass dude. Like when I'm 50, I'm trying to be like this dude type of thing. But like anyway, it's in the middle of some like super hot summer day, and I'm doing my rounds. I'm filling out my clipboard on the beach, doing my job type of thing. And I get to this dude, Chad, bro. And he just shakes my hand, introduces himself, and then introduces his wife to me, and then just starts shooting the shit. And I'm just blown away by how chill this dude is. Because he's like, he's a 50-year-old dude, and he's talking to me. And at the time, I'm probably like, 18, maybe 19 years old. So I'm like, yo, this is the first time like an older person has spoken to me in a way that's like not telling me to get the fuck off their property type of thing. But he was just so chill. So anyway, I started like, every single day after that, I'd go over and I'd sit down in the sand and just, chat with him and his wife for like 10-15 minutes every day. And, I'm over there, I'm talking to them about my friends, my family, my girlfriend, and they're telling me about, like, the 70s and the Vietnam era and the government and how they met, just all types of cool stuff, But anyways, there was this day not too far from then where I had been recently cut out of a business from my business partner, and I guess I'd complained a lot about, either my business fees or my shitty, choice of friends to Chad and his wife, because the day after that, the dude slaps $100 right into my palm and tells me to put it into my business and not to give up on that shit. And I tell you what, I will never, so long as I live, I will never forget that shit. And I don't know why I'm reminded of it, but just being on this topic reminds me, like, a couple of days ago, I saw this video on TikTok or Instagram, and it was like this video depiction of how Malcolm X got assassinated. And bro, oh my god, like for some reason I thought that they shot him in a stairwell or like popped him on a balcony or something, but like, nah, they Swiss cheese that nigga ass while he was giving a speech in a church, bro. Like, right in front of his kids, too. They fed him straight buckshot and then up 2 pistols on this 39-year-old nigga and gave him 21 bullet holes after that. And I'm just sitting there watching that, watching this video with my jaw on the ground. Because I read this nigga's autobiography when I was like 14 years old. And, because of that, I can't say that he was like some peaceful woodland creature that just wanted to, hold hands and sing hallelujah. Because, like, nah, he was definitely about violence. But, the guy didn't deserve to get eviscerated, like, fatality style, right in front of his family. It's like how people were saying Charlie Kirk got done, but that shit genuinely happened, like, right there in a church. Shit's crazy, man. And that shit is just what, that's just what seems to happen to people who just speak their minds and want to, like, reach out for a change or whatever. I could sit here and just yap about how fucked up it is that Muhammad Ali got locked up for not wanting to go to Vietnam, but the dude who's our president, I don't even want to say his name for real, he got out of the draft because he was written off for his heel spurs. And it's like, bro, my mom literally got heel spurs because of a service related injury, and you're telling me that this dude couldn't, never mind, because I don't know, maybe his heels really are, like, fucked up, aside from the fact that at the same time he was in college, he was playing football and was supposedly an all-star, football fucking athlete. Anyway, it's just hilarious because I made a single Google search on the subject, and I find a quote from, this president guy talking, and he's saying, "You think I'm stupid? I wasn't going to join Vietnam." If that shit isn't proof enough that all you need is a little bit of privilege and a good lie and you can cheat your way out of anything, then I don't know what is. Because, like, Muhammad Ali, that dude stood up for himself. Like, he told the world straight up that he wasn't going to justify fighting a war against the Vietnamese people just because America told him to. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. And, like, I can't understand people who are, like, bashing that shit. Because this is a black dude growing up in Kentucky in the 40s and 50s. This is an era where black people, they're not even allowed to drink water out of the same faucets as white people. But he's expected to be chomping at the bit to go overseas and get shot up for his country. Like, for sure. That shit makes no fucking sense to me. But, I just wish there were more people, like, that I knew who thought the same way. Because I used to think I could argue this mindset into people's heads. Like, I used to argue with my friends trying to get this empathy into them until I realized how, like, dumb that shit was. Like, because there was this one time I'm playing the game with my friend and his older brother, and these are two grown-ass men. They start trying to convince me between some Fortnite call-outs that Donald Trump is, like, a great guy. And, they were trying to tell me that they could totally empathize with victims of SA because they've got female family members who are at risk of becoming victims of, people like that dude. And I was just sitting there in front of my PC trying to figure out why these two guys are dick riding this guy so damn hard. And then it hit me, like, these niggas fake as fuck, dog. Like, they don't care about the SA victims or the foreign trade tariffs, the disrespect towards the generals and the fucking military. They don't care about the lack of the Great Wall being built or this dude getting impeached or the insults towards women and minorities. Like, these dudes would deadass lie their own mother's life down on the ground for this dude. Just because that's the shit that they fucking believed in, I guess. But, anyway, one of the two guys that I was just talking about actually ties in a separate time to this same topic on fake people. And you see, the thing is, when I was making the business that I was talking about before that Mr. Chadwick, good old Chad helped me out with, this dude, let's call him Tom, he was living a few states north of me at the time, and he was steady telling me about how he was going to study up on how to wholesale houses, and then he was going to come down, help me run my business, and then I could teach him how to, do some stock market trades. He could teach me wholesaling, we'd run my business, make bank. It'd be lit. Well, this dude, he moves back down to Florida, which is where I'm kicking it. And, after months of studying and all this shit, he immediately gets a fucking job doing not shit to help me out with my fucking business. And granted, I'm not even mad because people do what people do. And I'm just, am I going to get upset that this dude isn't going to help me, or am I going to run my fucking business? I had other shit to worry about. I was managing his younger brother. I was taking college classes. I was trying to make bread. My schedule was too full for all that BS. But long story short, this dude Tom, his girlfriend ends up breaking up with him, and then she spills the beans to my girl over text that Tom had told her that his younger brother and I betrayed him and had actually kicked him out of my business, and that's why he wasn't making money with, me and his younger brother. And that shit was just the biggest load of bullshit, because I was giving this dude every opportunity to help me run my business. And mind you, this is after me and this dude had known each other for like 4 years straight, like kicking it, lighting, like all that shit for homie shit. And like, mind you, when this nigga was homeless, sleeping in a tent, I was the dude who was showing up and bringing this nigga a bag of like food and like toilet paper, deodorant and shit. And I literally put that on my mama, nigga. But people are so fucking fake. And it doesn't even matter if you give a girl like flowers and take her on dates and treat her like a princess, man, because I swear to God that bitch is gonna go behind your back and text that nigga that you told her not to be talking to. And this shit's like clockwork, how people switch up so fucking fast when you're not around. You just gotta be careful, like, for real, man. And I just feel like I've been constantly just like gauging people and weighing them over what they actually are, and that shit's just a letdown, because it's like, I don't even have high expectations for real. Like, you can genuinely be kind of an asshole. I'm not even gonna like stick it to you unless you're like a real fucking dick. But that's just me type shit. I don't know, you feel me though. You just gotta watch your back. And I'm not trying to make this video with like a message of like, oh, don't trust anybody, everybody's out to get you, like that sort of thing, because it's just not true. But I think that it's important to keep this in mind, so that when you actually do meet somebody or a group of people that genuinely just want to act like themselves, then you should stick by those people and really try to help them thrive, and just be a supportive friend of them, because why not? And even so, like, even once you get to that situation or get to that point, it's still super important to keep in mind that the only person that's always going to stay with you throughout your life is going to be you. So you got to be careful not to let yourself get infected with all the fake bullshit that's in the world, because just remember, the first murder ever, that shit was a fratricide.